Hey everyone, how's it going? This is Azren the Language Nerd here. I'm the owner of the Calgary Language Nerds, and welcome to the very first episode of this behind the scenes update. Now, I'm working on something really cool. I'm working on a project that I'm excited about, which is called The Best Way to Learn a Language. The Best Way to Learn a Language is going to be a new show that I release on my podcast, which is called The Language Learning Show, as well as my YouTube channel, which is called Azren the Language Nerd. That's spelled A-Z or Z-R-E-N, the Language Nerd. And the purpose of the show is going to be to help you find the best way to learn a language for you. Because there are many ways to learn another language, and many of them work very well. However, even though there's a method that works really well, it may not work very well for you. Different methods and different approaches work for different people. There's a problem with that statement, however. And the problem with the statement, different methods work for different people, the problem with that kind of statement is that it's not helpful. Me saying that there are different ways to learn a language doesn't help you, because then you still find yourself wondering, great, what do I do? What's going to work for me? I heard about this method, and it didn't work for me when I tried it. I tried this method, it didn't really work for me. I heard about this method, and I just can't picture myself doing that. So what I'm going to be doing on these podcasts and videos coming up, I haven't released them yet, these videos and podcasts, which are going to be called The Best Way to Learn a Language, Episode 1, Episode 2, Episode 3, so on and so forth, is in each episode, I'm going to give detailed instructions on how would you learn a language using this method? How would you learn a language using that method? How would you learn a language through music? How would you learn a language through private lessons? How would you learn a language through immersion and traveling abroad? So on and so forth. That's what I want to do. That way you can watch those videos and you can find the best method for you. And we can finally put the question to bed. The question to bed. Or is that the expression, to put a question to bed? Or put it to rest? Whatever. We can finally stop asking ourselves, what's the best way to learn a language? Because you will have found the best way to learn a language for you. Now, these episodes that I release in the future, they're going to be episodes that require some planning on my end. I'll need to do some research. I will talk to different people who have used that method. I will think about it. I will try to break it down into steps for you. And I won't be able to release an episode every day. Heck, probably not even every week. It might be something like one episode a month or something like that. And I got the idea of, why don't I make these behind the scenes updates where I can share what I'm doing behind the scenes with these episodes. And that way you can learn. We can get a behind-the-scenes look of what I'm doing, of course, but also learn some little tidbits, some little tips and tricks as I go, as I develop these methods, as I make the videos, as I make the podcasts. I can share little tips and tricks along the way, and you can start to implement those tips and tricks immediately. Immediately, you can watch a video and start to implement the tips and tricks. Does that make sense? And by the time an episode comes out of, here's the first episode of The Best Way to Learn a Language, there's been a nice big build-up, because maybe there were like 20 different behind-the-scenes updates building up to the one video/podcast. So I'm excited. We'll see where this goes. Maybe this whole project will flop. You guys know how I am. I like to start new projects, and sometimes they work out amazingly, and they're like home runs. And some of them, they fizzle out. They were a mistake. I messed up. And, you get to see it either way. So today, I don't have a lot to share, but I can share. I've got my laptop behind me here. I'll throw a few things on the screen because I've been working on the visual aesthetic side of things recently. I've been working on the color scheme of the content that I make. Color scheme meaning more on not so much in the YouTube video side of things, also not really on the podcast side of things, but more on the Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, Facebook, that side of things. Because I do plan to chop up different highlights, I suppose, from the different daily updates, from the best way to learn a language episodes. I do plan to chop things up and take little 1-minute clips, 2-minute clips, and post them on different social media networks. And so I want to get the color scheme right. So I'll put some screenshots on the screen for those watching on YouTube so you can see some of the rough drafts. I haven't quite decided yet. That's one thing I'm focusing on because I want to make sure I do this project right. I'm trying to cross all my T's and dot all my I's. And for me, that means making sure that the content is very informative for you, very useful for you. I really think it through. I also want it to mean that the visuals look nice. You know, I'm not someone who's very visual by nature. It's not something that comes natural to me. I'm not very fashionable. I don't know what looks good. I'm not great with matching colors. It doesn't come natural to me. And I want to work on that. I want to do it right. I want to take this new project and use it as an opportunity to work on that skill. You may even notice, possibly, that my audio quality is a little bit better than usual, or at least I'm hoping it is. God, I sure hope it is. I'm using a microphone and I've got it all set up. I did some research on it. I want to do this right. And so far, I've been working on the preparatory steps, the preparation steps, the visuals. What will the thumbnails look like? How is it going to play out? How many episodes will I make? Things like that. And I'm also, just looking at my notes here, I'm working on, or rather thinking about, what will the first episode of The Best Way to Learn a Language be? What's it going to be about? Am I going to talk about how to learn a language through classes? Is it going to be how to learn a language through travel? Will it be how to learn a language through reading, through I don't know what the method is going to be. I haven't quite figured that out. In fact, if you have any suggestions, I'm more than open to hearing your ideas because I am still trying to figure it out. As I said, I'm taking this seriously and I want to make sure I do this properly. This whole project may flop and not work out. We'll see. You guys are on the ride with me. We're going to go through this adventure together. If you have followed my content in the past, you may have noticed that I do like to start new projects, and not all of them end up taking off. Many of them do, some of them do, and it helps me in my business. It helps me helps a lot of language learners, of course, too. But then some of them don't. Like if you go through my YouTube channel, there's a series where I try to make a course helping people to prepare for the DELE test and the DELF test for French and Spanish, and they're incomplete. I didn't finish them. I tried, I really thought about it, I planned them out, it was really good, and I did all that, but I never really finished it. So we'll see where this goes. I'm going to do my best, and we'll see how things go. If people are using it, if it's going well, that's great. I'll keep them going. If not, then I might have to cut it short. We'll see. It'll be an adventure, and we're going to see together how it all plays out. Anyway, I don't have a lot more I want to share in this initial episode here. So let's wrap it up. I appreciate your attention, and I will see you in the next behind the scenes update. Bye for now.